What's happening, guys? It's Black Friday evening here at the New England Motorcycle Museum. Everybody's gone home, and we have the pleasure of sharing with you this absolutely stunning classic Kawasaki double overhead camshaft Z1 900. This is an original paint survivor, probably one of the nicest original paint examples we've seen here through the museum. You'll see we have an absolutely pristine restored one with a new paint job over there. And we also have the Holy Grail, the Rickman CR 900 also as comparison. But this is an original paint, original seat, original handlebars, survivor, all original chrome on it. It's just been thoroughly recommissioned by the staff here at the museum. Jimmy Laurinaitis spent the better part of a month working on this bike on and off. And he had Jeff Castine help him on the final tuning. The bike has 28,000 original miles on it. It's an original matching numbers bike, original front fender, original chrome front end. You can see it's never been dropped. The turn signals, the bar end levers, everything's pristine on it, including the gauges. Probably one of those bikes that has rarely, if ever, seen rain. Stored indoors, obviously, in original paint, which speaks volumes, because usually once they're 47 years old, the paint jobs are shot, the chrome's shot. Even the paint on the frame is in beautiful condition. When it came to us, the first thing we do on a classic like this, besides a full recommissioning of all the fluids and a thorough testing of all the systems, is a compression test. And it came up with low compression in one of the cylinders. So not uncommon, 28,000 miles, to need a top end refresh. So we took the time and completely stripped the entire top end of the engine, cylinder head, jugs, everything was taken off and mic'd. The pistons were still in good condition. The original bore was still in good condition. So we went ahead and completely rebuilt the top end of the motor. All new gasket seals. The carbs were completely dismantled. The rack was dismantled down to the last component, put in the carb cleaning tank, and the whole engine was cleaned and completely recommissioned. I have like a 5-page work order here, so I'll go over this with you so you'll have a clear understanding of exactly what went into parts and labor on this bike. We also cleaned and flushed out the front brake system, rebuilt the front caliper with OEM parts. We replaced the piston with stainless steel. We rebuilt the front master cylinder with all new OEM parts, so the complete front brake system was completely rebuilt. The exhaust system is a brand new 4x4 OEM style exhaust system. It's a clone of the original. Again, the carbs are disassembled, clean, and rejetted to the stock specs. Has a new air filter on it, a new oil filter on it, of course, a new oil change. We also put a new horn on it, installed a new rear drive chain, flushed the rear brakes, and serviced the rear brakes. The gas tank was removed, and the inside of it was soda blasted. If you can show them the inside of the tank, Kenny, it looks like it just came out of the factory. It's immaculate. There's no sealant on it or tank goo or whatever, tank coating. That's original, fresh metal inside there, and it looks beautiful. The let's see, gas that's in it is VP non-ethanol fuel. It had a full nut and bolt top, front to back safety check, and I've got a long list of components that were replaced on the motor that I'll go over with you in a second here. It also has a new Yuasa battery, of course, new spark plugs, a new DID 630 O-ring chain. Can you zoom in on the chain, Kenny? What color is that chain? It's a silver chain. So it has a silver chain, which is our OEM original style chain. Front brake pads, again, are brand new. Z1 Enterprises is where we bought the caliper, piston, a rebuild kit, master cylinder rebuild kit. The front caliper piston, which is new stainless steel. And that's it for that page. Let me switch over to the other page. Let's see. As far as the engine goes, this is where most of the parts and components were put on the inside of the motor. It's a complete top-end rebuild. Again, we checked the piston to wall clearance, which came in spec. So we did hone the cylinders, replaced the rings and the circlips with OEM parts. We replaced the cam chain idlers and the tensioner wheels with new OEM parts. We replaced all the damper rubbers with new OEM, and of course the 4x4 exhaust and carb. Reading down the parts list here, it has a new top end gasket kit, base gasket, cylinder head, and valve cover gasket kit. new Kawasaki muffler connector pipes, which we purchased, NOS OEM muffler connector pipes, which the exhaust system didn't come with the connector pipes, so the ones that are on there are brand new NOS. Again, new, all the gaskets in the top end of the motor are new. We put new intake valves and new exhaust valves on there. We built the complete valve train. The head cover is an OEM copper gasket, and the valve seats are OEM brand new Kawasaki valve seats, OEM Kawasaki chain guide roller for the cam chain, new Kawasaki OEM cam chain rubber isolators, new OEM Kawasaki tachometer gear O-ring. So the complete top end of the motor is completely refreshed, and it pulls and runs and just like you expect it to, brand new. We also put a new horn on it, Maxima 10 weight 40 oil, bouncing around here on the parts list, 29 millimeter valve shims, new white exhaust valve guides, new piston pin clips, new piston ring sets, OEM Kawasaki, new OEM Kawasaki oil filter, and a new OEM Kawasaki air filter. So 4 new muffler mount bushings, 2 new washers, new special nut from Z1A, new dampeners for the cam chain idler, new oil seal for the tack drive, and new O-ring for the tack drive, and of course new brake fluid. So 1, 2, 3, I got a 5-page work order here, and I think I've summarized the main points on it. So again, the front fork chrome is in beautiful condition. The front wheel and spokes is in beautiful condition. No evidence of the bike ever being dropped on this side. There's no scratches anywhere on this side. Not on the turn signals, not on the brake levers, nothing. Just obviously a bike that was well cared for. Junior actually purchased this bike from one of our clients a while back, so I know he'll have something to add to it. Looking at this side of the motor, no evidence of it ever being dropped here. 40, that's like, sometimes I equate it to like carrying around an egg for 47 years and not cracking it. To go 47 years on a bike like this and not have one, obviously this wasn't a bike that was raced or abused. It's all stock, and including the intake. Just a beautiful piece. Of course, it went through the full Monty detail. Some of the things that the items of care that you'll see that this guy did, the previous owner, look at the front fender. It's got a mud flap on there that keeps all of the debris from shooting up on the exhaust and into the motor. The motor's spotless. When it was dismantled, everything was clean and polished. Before it was not too much, so it wasn't polished to be too shiny, just original sheen. So if you're going to show the bike, the front caliper is repainted and rebuilt. Just beautiful piece. One of the nicest we've seen through the shop here. Went through the full Monty detail. I'll go over that in a second. Is there anything you'd like to add about the bike, Junior? I know you know a little bit more about it than I do. So,
guys, I couldn't buy this one fast enough. All original equipment on it, and it wasn't repainted. This is an unrestored bike, guys, and how you see it. I mean, guys, there's no repaint other than the mechanical refresh and a good deep clean. There wasn't much to be done, and this leaves little to be desired. There's examples nicer than this are very few and far between, and I'd go as far to say that it's the nicest 74 Z1 available today.
the tires, the front has a Metzler ME33 laser on there with 99% tread. It's probably got less than 100 miles on it. In the back is a matching Metzler ME Perfect. It's called ME99 Perfect. So nice fresh set of Metzlers, new chain. Brakes have been completely rebuilt, front and rear. Original rear shocks, original front forks. Looking at this bike from here, the only thing that the untrained eye will think it's 100% original, but the trained eye, the specialist, will see that it's got Metzler tires on there and a reproduction exhaust system. Other than that, there's really no identifying characteristics from original bone stock. It did go through a full, now just to give you an idea how clean this thing is, it only had 8 hours in the detail shop, and that was a no expense spared. Every nook and cranny detail on it, it was only 8 hours. Typically, on a bike of this vintage, it's not uncommon for them to put 20, 30 hours into a rotisserie style detail, touching up the paint and that kind of thing, but there was no touch-up paint done anywhere on the tank and tins on this bike, and they only had 8 hours in the detail shop. So going over the work order, the detail shop, they hot water hand wash the motorcycle, and The gas tank was clay barred, cleaned, then clay barred, waxed and buffed, so it has a brilliant shine on it. All the chrome was cleaned and polished. The engine side covers were polished, but again, nothing to, like you can see, that there's a shine on the side covers, but not more than it would have from the factory, brand new, which is a hallmark of a proper restoration. The cylinder valve covers and the starter cover were cleaned and polished. The fenders were polished. The seat, original vinyl conditioner was put on there. The side stand and the center stand, if you look carefully, you'll see those were repainted. The original sheen, factory black, and the frame was touched up lightly. Full rotisserie detail, every nook and cranny on the bike was clean. So, detail shop, only 8 hours labor. Service department, 50 hours labor. They had it in the shop for, well, it was on Jimmy's bench for a couple months waiting for parts, and every time you do a bike like this, there's always something else you find, and he wanted the top end perfect and everything just right on it. So it took some time and multiple, I mean, there's literally 3 pages of parts here. So the total parts cost, that's the good news. It's one of the nicest ones in the country, nicest stock original 74s, carefully given a full preservation service. The bad news is 50 hours labor and 8 hours in the detail shop at $90 an hour, 50 hours labor, it works out to $5,220. And the parts at retail costs are $3,103, plus the shop supplies, $5 in shop supplies. It actually should be $25, I'm sure, but it's down at $5. The subtotal was $83.43 with tax. If you bought your bike to us and said, this is what I want done, everything we did here with parts, $3,000 in parts and $5,200 in labor, it came to $8,873. That's what the service ticket you have here. And if you were going to have this motorcycle professionally appraised by an expert, check the NADA value. I don't have the book in front of me, but I think it's, what are these, like 15, 17,000 or something like that?
Yeah, they regularly, nice Z1s regularly trade north of 15, so.
So, yeah, it's not uncommon from the top 20. This is a second year Z1. 73 was the first. In fact, we have a 73Z right over here. That's in absolutely pristine condition. This one is one of the museum displays that's not for sale. This one shows 0 miles on the odometer. It's an NOS speedometer. It's not a 0 mile bike, but it was restored to like new condition. But this is a repaint. It's not the original paint, which in some serious collector's eyes makes it worth a little bit less. But you know, that's not the case in point. The case in point is this bike over here. That's an original paint, right color, green and gold, just stunning. I have not much more to say. I'm going to drop the mic now unless Junior's got something to say. Okay, if you have any questions about this classic Kawasaki Z1, give us a call, 860-454-7024. Obviously one that was much loved and cared for, and it's just been given a full preservation and detail service. Thanks for watching. Buy yourself the Christmas gift that'll keep on giving. These are going up in value, as you know, so it's a rock-solid investment. If you want to leave it on display here in the museum, we'd love to have it. But we can ship it anywhere in the country for you. What was it, the max price for shipment in the USA?
$625.
$625 is
Message your zip for a shipping quote. So.
Yep, message us your zip for a shipping quote. Zoom in on the original 1974 key fob. That thing's 46 years old? And it's, where are you going to get one of those? Pretty cool, huh? The gauges are nice and crisp and clear. The chrome on the original bars is great. Everything's, you know, up to par on this. This is Kaplan America approved for sure. And hey, I own the museum here. I'm the curator for the museum. I see a lot of bikes come and go. And this is one of, if not the nicest Z1. Certainly the nicest 74 we've had through, right? I would say, beyond the shadow of a doubt. 100%. Yeah, we've had restored ones like that 73 that look pristine, but we don't know how many miles that has on it. It says 0 on the odometer, and we don't have, you know, we don't know what the paint looked like before it was painted. This is original paint, and they're only original once. Well, anyways, that's enough out of me. Thanks for watching. If you want this one, click buy it now. You'll be happy. This is a gift that'll keep on giving. She's a beauty. Thanks for watching, and God bless America.